Episode 80 of the ATD Baseball Podcast. We are 20 episodes away from reaching the century mark here. We're not quite there yet, but we're coming down the stretch here. We're slowly getting there. Full house today, myself and Kyle. We got things that we want to discuss. I'm very happy after a good weekend. It would have been nice had they won yesterday, and oh, did I really want that sweep. And when Teoscar hit the home run to put the Dodgers up 3-2, I'm like, God damn it, they're going to sweep the Yankees this weekend. And then we'll get into that later. But I'm coming off a good weekend. Kyle, how are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, man. I'm back home after a week in Tampa Bay there.
Yeah.
Um, yes, and then, obviously I was looking forward to this series against the Dodgers. We'll obviously get into that. I got some words, here and there.
Topics that we're going to discuss today. We got Yankees Dodgers, like I just mentioned. We're going to touch a little bit on the London series. We got Twin City Connects, which we have thoughts on that. And then at the end, we're gonna share our All-Star teams. And
It'll be fun.
yeah, that'll be fun. I'll think about that when we get to that point. But um, let's just not waste any time. Let's just start right off the bat. Dodgers took 2 out of 3 from the Yankees at Yankee Stadium. As a Dodger fan, I think it was wow, it was a successful weekend for baseball. I think that was my consensus takeaway from the weekend, that this series was a win for baseball. And again, I got this feeling last year after the Yankees took 2 out of 3 in LA, and having worked all 3 games and see all the Yankee fans come in and all the Dodger fans. This has to be a World Series, man. Like, listen, I know there's no rigging in sports. Can we try it one time where we can put the Yankees and Dodgers in the World Series? Just one time. Just once. Yankees win the American League, I win the National League, and then after that, whatever happens, happens. But I felt it at home, 3,000 miles away on TV. Crowd was into it, man. They were into it Friday, they were into it Saturday, and they were into it yesterday. Electric atmosphere at Yankee Stadium. It felt like a big series. Listen, are these 3 games going to mean something in the grand scheme of things? No. It's 3 games of 162. It's at the beginning of June. There's still 100 games left for both teams. It felt different this weekend. It really did. It felt meaningful, and it felt like it meant something. There was a lot of pride in this series. A lot of West Coast, East Coast pride. You saw the Dodger fans, shout out Planton294, who showed up big on Saturday, and they were there all weekend. I heard stories from people who went that enjoyed themselves, and man, did they have fun. To the baseball side of things, Teoscar Hernandez, big props to you, my friend. Yankee killer. And I was so happy because going into this weekend, you were talking about Judge. I know Soto was out, but before you were talking about Juan Soto. You were talking about Ohtani. You were talking about Betts. You were talking about Freddie Freeman. You were not mentioning Teoscar Hernandez. He's a good player, but he was not on, the movie poster of the weekend. He was not one of the names being mentioned, and he had a big weekend. I think he seemed like he knocked in like more than half of the runs that the Dodgers scored this weekend. But very impressed, very happy for Teoscar Hernandez's performance this weekend. Friday, Yoshinobu Yamamoto putting on a show. That is why the Dodgers gave him the big bucks when he came over from Japan. 7 innings, only 2 hits allowed, no runs. It was great. Um, I really wanted the Dodgers to get Sunday night because it looked like they were in a position. Mookie Betts hit a big double to tie the game, and then Teoscar went deep. And then after that, listen, Tyler Glasnow has been great for the Dodgers this season. He's been kind of screwed in the last month because he hasn't had any run support, but he was kind of due to have an outing like that, and it was going great for the first 5 innings. And then defense made some, plays they probably should have made, gave up a couple hits, and then Trent Grisham, who, listen, 5 seconds before he hit that ball, no Yankee fan wanted to see him in the lineup. And then what does he do? He hits a 3-run home run that pretty much won the game for them. And Yankees took the last one, but overall, from a Dodgers fan perspective, super impressed and super happy with how the weekend went. And now let's get to Kyle's Yankees side. How did you see it this weekend?
I pretty much saw it the same way you did. This is huge for baseball. When the Yankees traveled out west last season, that was marked on all Yankee fans' calendars. That's the series that we wanted to see, and it was the same exact thing this year. Dodgers came out to the Bronx. They showed up. They really did. I always say to myself, I said I give my fan base props. I'm gonna do it with the Dodgers. They come out. They're gonna help us pay for Soto. I appreciate that.
Helped us pay for Otani.
It's very cool for baseball, and I couldn't agree with you more. I really want a Yankees-Dodgers World Series. I want it so damn bad, and I thought we were going to get it in 17. And ever since then, both these teams have had heartbreak when it comes to October. And for once, this season, these last 3 games have felt like a playoff atmosphere. And I get goosebumps very, very easily from baseball games, especially when the Yankees do some heroics, whatever happens. I had goosebumps from first pitch on Friday all the way till, Clay Holmes shut the door yesterday, and it was just electric. I absolutely loved it. I want to see this come October, November. I need this. I really do. Going to the actual games, I will never make excuses for the Yankees, especially when they're playing this well. They have to find a way to win. Soto is out. That sucks. But yet again, other guys need to come up. It's not just Judge and Soto's team here. Other guys need to start coming up and producing. And for the most part, I was actually happy with the Yankees play all weekend. Except for the second game. That got out of hand. But, the first game, it was a pitcher's duel all the way to 6th, 7th, 8th inning. And then last game, I was very happy with the way that came out. I do want to say this, and I'm always saying shit like this, but Aaron Judge, come on. I mean, this is nuts. What he's doing is absolutely ridiculous. This man is on a different level. He basically leads every single hitting category in the majors right now. This guy is consistently putting the team on his back, and I think it's time to start having a conversation where, where does Judge line up in the Yankee greats? I mean, obviously, there's a long list of them. I get it. But Judge is really putting together some sort of career here. He really is. And I feel like, consistently, he's putting up 2022 numbers again. This guy's on pace for just under 60 home runs. He's on pace for over a 300 batting average, and his OPS is just out of the water. This guy's ridiculous. I absolutely love watching him on a daily basis. He's obviously my favorite player. This guy's really giving me the love of baseball back. I absolutely love it. I really don't have too much to say here. Obviously, I wish the outcome was a little bit different. At least get the series win. I would have liked it, but the Dodgers kind of evened it up from last season, so we'll give it to you. But I mean, like you said, I think overall this entire weekend was a huge success for Major League Baseball. The viewership was outstanding. And when these two teams come together, whether it's in Los Angeles or New York, it's going to be electric. And it felt like a playoff atmosphere the entire way from Friday to Sunday. And like I said, I'm looking forward to October, and I really hope that these two teams can meet. Obviously, there's a long way to go, but yeah, that's probably my 2 cents on it. I will say something's got to give with Anthony Rizzo. Go get Ryan McMahon. Go do something. I don't know what it is, but something's got to give here with him. Other than that, like I said, not too happy with the outcome, but I was overall happy with the way that the Yankees played, and obviously it's great for baseball. And I think that's the more important thing here that we really need to touch on is how important this is for baseball. Like I said, viewership was crazy, and when these two teams meet, it always feels like it's October, no matter what time of year it is. So, successful weekend. I truly do believe that.
I agree. Successful weekend too, and it was nice. I don't know why. Listen, this has nothing to do with the score, because obviously the Dodgers, it got out of hand Saturday, and it got so bad that they had to put in a position player to pitch to get the last 3 outs.
Oswaldo.
Yes, even he put in a run too, I think himself. But that's not
Yeah, he
that's
did.
not the point of this. Um, you know, I'm big on the broadcast. I'm pretty sure. I hope everybody's figured that out by now. I'm big on the broadcast. I'm big on the people calling the game, and I'm big on the way they set things up. Um, Listen, I understand it's at Yankee Stadium, and two of the three guys that are doing your pregame show are Yankees. Can we try and balance it out a little bit with the Yankee stuff? Like, I completely listen. I get it. I was watching the pregame in the morning before the London series. I was watching the horse racing, the Belmont. I was watching that all day. I loved when they were at Monument Park. I love that. I completely get it. Completely get it. And then I also loved it. I don't know why people didn't like it. They had a segment where they went out to the infield and they were sharing stories. You had Jeter at his shortstop position. You had A Rod at third base, and then David Ortiz doing his funny thing and hitting a home run and running around the bases. That was fun. But 30 minutes before the game starts, they're on the field at the table, and then they ask them who's better suited for October. And what do you think A Rod and Jeter said? Say the Yankees. Listen, I understand they both are Yankees. I completely understand that. But can we try and balance it out a little bit? Thank God David Ortiz was. I mean, even he was going Yankees too. David Ortiz was kind of getting lost in the Yankee Stadium lore and everything. But listen, it was a great weekend. I'm just a little nitpicking, but listen, I completely get why they're doing it. Yankee Stadium, I get it. Look, you have Jeter and A-Rod, who I guess they're friends now. I'm still kind of skeptical about that. But it looks like every time A-Rod says something, Jeter's just daggering, looking at him. Like, what are you talking about? Like, what are you talking? But that's it. But other than that, yeah, it was a perfect weekend. Great weekend for baseball.
Couldn't agree more.
Moving on, this series was fun. Hey, I enjoyed watching. I saw all of Saturday's game. I saw halfway through Sunday. Um, Phillies, Mets went to London. Social media did a great job of covering it. You saw the fanatic and going through the town and stuff, and that was another win for baseball this weekend. I really
It was.
think that baseball they have found something with this London series. Um, they tried it when the Yankees and Red Sox first went out there in 2019, and that was a huge success. Last year was kind of but they send the two right teams out there. They send the Cubs and they send the Cardinals, the rivalry and stuff, and those games were okay. And then these past 2 weekends were pretty good too. Yesterday, you had a unusual way to finish the game. You had a 2-3 putout, double play to end the game when it looked like, oh my God, here we go again. The Mets are gonna blow it again. Their bullpen's gonna give up the game again. But Phillies and Mets split the series, and like I mentioned earlier, I think MLB has really found something with this London series. I hope they continue to go back. They haven't said anything about next season, but I like it. I really like it. I would like to see some West Coast teams get out there, but again, I know going from LA or San Francisco all the way to London is not easy. So it's a lot easier to send the Giants, the Mets, the Phillies, the Red Sox. I get that because they're on the East Coast. But I would like to see it start expanding a little bit. There's still some big name teams that you can send out there. I know the schedules have to align perfectly, but I think MLB has really found something with this London series.
Yeah, I mean, I was very excited to watch this series. Sadly, I was not able to kind of tune into much of it. Obviously, I did here and there, but I think the marketing that MLB did for it was phenomenal. And I think you hit it right on the head. They are picking the correct teams, right? So they start off with the Yankees and Red Sox. I feel like you really couldn't get too much of a better matchup there. And then you go to the Cubs and Cardinals, and then after that, you go to the Phillies and the Mets. These matchups have been electric. I mean, I think that's what is really. I mean, you're getting the proper teams in there to get the fan bases and things like that. You're getting the audience. And London has really picked up on Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
I mean, I know within the Phillies community, I know they have like the Phillies UK thing, and I
Ron
know the
Thompson
Angels
was
are
having beers with them on Saturday.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. And, I know the Angels are big over there too, kind of touching on your West Coast thing. These MLB is doing a very good job at this. And I love what they do with the World Tour. And, London, I think, is my favorite personally so far. I hope that they continue with this. Going on the game itself, first game the Phillies were doing their thing, and even the second game they were doing their thing too. Yes, Bryce Harper, we all saw that. That was
Sick.
electric. That was really cool. It was. Um, you know, I I really like what the Phillies are doing. They're electric to watch. The Mets are kind of on the opposite side, but I'm glad for baseball that they were able to pull out a win and not absolutely look like what we're used to seeing from this team. So it overall, I think that was a success as well. I really hope that Major League Baseball continues this, and I do agree with you. I really think that you need to start implementing more teams out there. I would absolutely love to see a Dodgers Angels out there. I think that would be cool.
Giants.
Dodgers Giants, exactly. Major League Baseball is really playing into this whole Dodgers Padres thing.
Yeah, send
So I
them over
wouldn't
there.
be shocked. Yeah, wouldn't be shocked if you see that. But there are other big name teams that you can get out there. One that comes to mind is
Rangers,
Houston.
Astros.
There, yeah. See, look, we're on the same
Yep.
wavelength here. Um, I do think that we will see that one day. We'll see who they pick for next year, but overall, I think it's always a success when Major League Baseball goes across the pond. I think it's such a cool thing for baseball.
Yeah, so far six teams that they've sent to London, they've all been different. They haven't sent
Hmm.
they haven't sent one team in a row, twice in a row. So that's what I was thinking. Well, you could do Mets and Braves if you want to stay kind of on that side of the country. Um, Again, I'm just trying to think of other stuff, but you can send the Orioles and get the Orioles involved with something. But um,
Yeah.
yeah, I think they're gonna start expanding to some of these teams out here, out west, and maybe even the Midwest too more. But they've really found something out there in London, and it's good. And like I said, this is the part of the whole thing, growing the game. Are there people in America that wish it would just stay here? Absolutely, but it's all part of growing the game, and this is what you want. You want baseball to be a global sport, a lot like soccer or football, wherever you're from. But they want it to be like that, and I think baseball has really hit it on the head. London has been a huge success in my book.
100%.
Keeping going, Twins, City Connect uniforms. Everything gets leaked now in the 21st century. So
Hmm.
it wasn't. I don't think it was the exact one. It was another design, but they were pretty similar. Um, Listen, I get it. I get what they're doing with these, but you're going away from the color. You're going away from the color of the team. This is something the Brewers would wear. That's what it looks like.
Yep.
But um, they're not terrible. But I just again, this is one of those things where I feel like they could have done more. I heard somebody today say in the comments that don't they have one already? And I was thinking about it. I'm like, do they? Because I think everybody thought those Twin Cities were
Yeah.
their City Connect, and I really like those
Mm.
with the cream,
Yeah.
the cream color with everything and the Twin Cities on it. But no, that's like their rotation, their alternates or something. This is it right here. Again, this is. I'm very nitpicky when it comes to these, and it just I don't know how you can start a City Connect jersey with a color that's not the main color of the team. I don't get that. But it's not horrible. You got the MN on the left side of the jersey. I think you got the state. I like the hat. You got the state uh, symbol. I'm trying to make out what it says or anything, but they're not they're not great, but they're not horrible either. They're somewhere in the middle for me. My rating would be this is a 5.5 or a 6 out of 10. Again, this is one of those where you could have done a lot more with it.
Mm. I I don't know where to go, man. I love the hat. I'm gonna start there. I think the hat really, with the state of Minnesota, and then they kind of have the star there. I think that's really cool. They have the thousand lakes on the side there. Oh man, I've been trying to sit on this like all day to really like kind of get a actual opinion, but it's so hard for me because I'm in the same boat as you. I want these jerseys to look more like what we're used to seeing. And this has given me a lot of like my same opinions with the Phillies. The Phillies I think did a pretty good job with theirs, but I was still stuck on the fact that it has nothing to do with the colors that we're used to seeing. And I'm kind of in the same boat with the Twins here. I mean, the jersey itself, I'll kind of just critique that a little bit. I like the MN. I think the font's really cool. The little like swooshes and stuff all over the jersey. I think that's pretty cool. Patch on the side, not necessarily know what that is, but whatever. um,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, I don't know. These are definitely like this is the definition of like 15 out of 30 for me. You know, it's right smack dab in the middle. I don't I don't have great feelings on it, but I don't have like the worst feelings on it. Um, if I had to rate it, oh my gosh, probably a 6, maybe. it's it's so hard for me, and it's like I don't have many opinions. It's simple. I like that. The simplicity of it. I'm glad that they kind of stuck with that. They didn't try to do too much. I will say I think the Twins' marketing on it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I watched the video they came out. I thought that was pretty cool. Um, yeah, I mean, from here on out, it's just this yellow and blue seems to be a theme for Nike here.
That's what I was thinking.
You
I
know,
was
and
just about to say that.
it's not sitting well with me. If it's not the Brewers, it's like it's just oh my god, it's very very weird for me. It really is, and me looking at Carlos Correa or Byron Buxton in a jersey that's blue and yellow is just it's weirding me out. It's a comfortability thing, I guess, but at the end of the day, Nike's really enjoying this blue and yellow. So I'll say this: if the Brewers come, wait, oh yeah, the Brewers do have their City Connects. I like the Brewers.
Yeah.
They stayed with their colors. That's it, and it was kind of like a throwback. I do agree with you. I think they could have done something with like the alternate jersey. Take the Twin Cities, kind of throw a few patches, a little bit of extra flair into it, and then I think you got yourself a City Connect. These I feel like just wacky, man. I like I said, I'm completely in the middle with these. I don't have any good things to say. I don't have any bad things. 5.5, I would say for my rating. 6 maybe.
Yeah, you hit it right on the head. I don't know why these teams and Nike is falling in love with that kind of baby bluish yellow color. I don't know what it is. Like I don't. It's but yeah, like I think that's multiple jerseys now that we've seen with this exact same color scheme, and it
Yep.
doesn't. You can easily like okay, like it looks similar to this one. What's the difference? But I mean, we all know how we feel about these City Connects. For the most part, they pretty much drop the ball. But
Yeah.
what can you do? I mean, your diehard fans that love the team are gonna buy that stuff and they're gonna wear it. Just like I've seen every
Yep.
Philly fan that didn't like it from the beginning. Now when I'm watching Philly games, I see a lot of red, but then I see some little patches of blue. I'm like, oh, okay, so people are starting to come around to that.
And the thing is, too, though, it doesn't look right. Like, if I'm
No,
watching a Phillies game on TV, right, and you're watching, and they're playing at Citizens Bank, okay, and you're kind of looking around the crowd, and you have the normal view, or when one of their players hit a homer, and you look, and it kind of like goes into the stands and everything, and I'm seeing Citizens Bank Park being filled with blue and yellow. I think it's just weirds me out. It's like this is so unorthodox, and it's not right, man. And that's what I hate about how they're going away from the colors that we know and love with our favorite teams.
yeah.
You know, so it's so weird that they pick that blue and yellow. I don't know, it's so weird.
All right, last thing here, and I've been looking forward to this for a while. Um, and of course, right as I said we should do this next week, and then I start with the All Star Game voting. I wanted to be ahead of that, but at least me and MLB were on the same page here. Um, MLB voting has opened. If you want, you can vote for your favorite players. Do your job as an American citizen and exercise your right to vote. And no, I am not talking about the election this fall. I'm talking about the All Star Game. Um, Vote for your
Priorities
players.
here.
Yes, priorities here. We'll get to my priorities later in the fall. But no, I'm just kidding. Um, um, we're gonna share our All Star team so far. They're all Dodgers and Yankees, so no, I'm just kidding. Um, there's one wrinkle that I do want to add to this though. So we're gonna go position by position, but you're also gonna give me your starting pitcher too.
Ooh, okay. I like this.
Yeah. So you can pick one from each league and insert them as your starter.
Okay.
So let's. How do you? Where do you want to start? Actually, you know what? Let's start at first base. Let's start at first base
Okay.
and make our way up.
All right. So I'll go with American League first. I got Vladdy.
Mmm. Okay.
National League, I have Bryce Harper.
National League, I have Bryce Harper.
Okay.
I really want to give it a Freddie, but he's kind of had it down here. First base, I'm gonna give it to Josh Naylor.
Okay. I like that pick.
He's been electric. I know the batting average is not crazy. He's 220 right now. He's got 16 home runs and 47 RBIs, and He's part of a team that's helping them win.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it to Josh Naylor here. I think he
I
deserves
like
it.
that. I do. I like that pick. All right. So going on to second base here, I have Jose Altuve for the American League, and in the National League, I have Luis Ariz.
Same here. Same here. Altuve
Oh.
and Arise.
All right. Going to third base here, I have Rafi Devers for the American League, and for the National League, I have Alec Bohm.
I have Alec Bohm in the National League.
Okay.
I got J-Ram. J-Ram in my third
Oh,
base in the American League. Oh.
Cleveland's getting a lot of love.
Yeah, I'm liking this Cleveland team for some reason.
Okay. So now
You can't go wrong with either choice. Both of them are gonna get in. Just a matter of who starts.
That's where this is going to lead me to shortstop here, and perfect transition here. But in the American League, you have two studs at shortstop who are kind of leading the way here. And I'm going to go with the one who plays in Kansas City. I'm going to go Bobby Witt Jr. here. Now, for the National League, I have Mookie Betts.
Damn right. In the National League, I have Mookie Betts.
4 for 4 for both of them.
Yeah. However, I'm gonna give it to Gunnar Henderson at shortstop.
Though that's 1A, 1B right there. And that's
Yeah.
how it's going to be for the next coming years, by the way.
Yeah, and you can't go wrong with either choice. You can't.
Not at all.
I think Gunnar Henderson has played a little bit better. Not saying Bobby Wood hasn't. I'm not saying he hasn't.
Yeah.
It's just I'm gonna give it to Gunnar Henderson a little bit.
Okay. That's totally fair. I mean, you can't go wrong with either. For my first outfield spot in the American League, I have Miguel Andujar. And in the National League, I have Jerickson Profar.
My first outfield position. I know he's hurt right now. Kyle Tucker. I mean, in the American
Okay.
League. In the American League.
Mhm.
And National League, I have Jerickson Profar.
Okay. For my second outfield position in the National League, this was where I got a little iffy for the National League, but I'm going to pair two teammates here, Profar, and I have Tatis as my second outfielder for the National League. Going on to the American League here, I'm going to go with my captain, Aaron James Judge.
Yeah. Again, we're both in sync. Judge and
boy.
Tatis. Now this
All
is,
right,
I think, where it's
third-
gonna get interesting.
Yeah, I think it might. Third and final outfield spot for the American League. I have Judge's co-pilot here, Juan Soto. Now for the National League, this is a guy who I absolutely adore. I love him to death. He's probably one of my favorite players who is not on the Yankees, and that is Christian Yelich. He is having a damn good season. Kind of resurgence a little bit. I absolutely love to see it. I had to give it to Yelly.
Juan Soto, American League. But you just saw him over the weekend. Teoscar Hernandez, your starting left fielder in the All-Star game this year. Give it to me. I think that's going to happen. If he can keep this pressure up, this performance up, and I think he'll get votes, and I think he's going to get one of those 3 starting positions.
It makes sense. It totally does. And I'm going to be honest with you. This is a pick where a little bit of bias came into play for me.
Yeah.
You know, I love Christian Yelich. I think he's a damn good player, and I absolutely love to see that he's having a bounce back year. Not taking anything away from Teoscar Hernandez. I think he's been playing amazing all season long, and he is going to get votes. I truly do believe that.
He's going to make the team, too, even if he doesn't start.
I agree.
Yelich is, too.
Going on to yeah. Going on to catcher here. I have Adley in the American League. And I have William Contreras in the
Oh,
National League.
you know, I really, I really, really want to give it to Will Smith because I want him to start. But it is William Contreras. I think he is going to get it. And we got the same in the American League, Adley Russia.
Okay.
Oh, I wanted to give it to
He's
Smith, though.
Contreras has been on a tear this year,
He
man.
has been.
So DH, I think this is going to be a lot of people's picks.
Yes.
Universal. I have Jordan in the American League, and then I have Shohei Ohtani in the National League.
Same here. Jordan and Otani.
So if I can get this correct here, I'm pretty sure on the National League side of things, you and I only have one that's different. I picked Yelly and you picked
I
Hernandez.
think so.
Other
Yeah.
than that, that's crazy. And we promised we were not texting during
No,
this.
no, no, no.
Like, that is my all-star team. I feel confident. My Miguel Andujar, that might just be a little bit of heartstrings there, but
Yeah,
had to give it to an
turn some
Oakland.
heads with that one.
Probably, but I'm okay with that.
Give me your starting pitchers.
American League,
Go
I'm
with
gonna give
your
it to
guy.
Luis Gil.
I figured you'd do that.
I'm gonna go with Luis Gil. He's been absolute nails for us all season long. He had a little bit of a rocky start yesterday against the Dodgers, but other than that, he has been locked down. He's the front runner for Rookie of the Year right now, and I truly believe he's gonna get some Cy Young votes at the end of the year.
Yeah.
I truly believe
Oh, yeah.
that. National League. This is where things get a little tricky for me, but there's one guy that has stood out all season long, and I think that's Ranger Suarez.
Yep.
That's who I'm going with.
So just because you took Gil, which I'm not, it's not a bad pick. I'm not saying it's biased or anything. It's a good pick.
hmm
I'm gonna show some love to the Detroit Tigers. Give me
Okay,
Turkey
Tarek Skubal.
Tarek Skubal. Give me him.
Love,
I think he's gonna.
Love
I think
it.
he's your starter in the American League.
I love that pick.
Thank
I
you.
really do.
Um, I think Ranger Suarez is gonna get it if he continues to pitch well and if he's healthy.
Yeah.
Um, but just to have some fun and go off to another pick, give me Shota Imanaga.
Oh, I love it.
I think he has a shot to get it. I really do. You can't take away
I
what
do
he's
too.
done for the first month and a half of the season. I think
Agreed.
if he can kind of, because I know he's kind of had some rough starts here and there, kind of, which is
Mm.
he was pitching so great that he was going to come back to earth eventually. I think he's got a shot, and I think he's going to start for the National League.
I think those are some very good picks. I love Scootball. I love what he brings. He's the ace of the Tigers. And Imanaga, he has been arguably, obviously, you have Otani there. I'm not going to take that away. Otani's in a league of his own. But arguably, Shota Imanaga has been the most number one underrated and number two the best for the team that needed him. And he has been arguably the best offseason signing. This guy came out and absolutely shoved. And yes, he was going to come back down to earth at some point. And like you said, he has had some rocky starts. But if he can kind of get that back on track, he's not bad by any means. But if he can, I mean, we're talking about all-star starter here. You know, that's a big deal. You got to be nails to be able to get that. So, you know, if Imanaga can get it back on track just a little bit, I don't see a world where he couldn't start. I really don't.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, of course, we don't need to pick managers because they're already chosen. If you get to the World Series, you get to manage the All-Star game the following year. So it's going to be Bruce Bochy and Torey Lovello. I can't believe I have to root for Torey Lovello. But because we're the National League, we need to come together for one night, and we need to start another winning streak here. We're trying to make it 2 years in a row where we won the All-Star game. That means absolutely nothing, by the way. We're not playing for World
Yeah,
Series or anything like that, but I like it like this.
there was a world where, I mean, I would go into the All Star break knowing that the American League was going to come out. You
That's not
know,
fun.
so now it's gotten a little iffy in the last year, and now obviously going into this year, American League's got to get back into it. Um, but it's also just one of those like little fun bragging
Oh
rights,
yeah,
especially for you and I. You're a Dodger fan, I'm a Yankee fan, so of course we're two separate leagues. So it's just nice to have those bragging rights.
definitely, definitely. Um, I think that's about it. Episode 80.
I think so.
Another
Yeah.
solid, another good episode.
Yes. 19 away now.
19
How
away
about it?
from 100. We're getting there, and
We are.
we'll get there. We'll get there.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Unless you got anything else, Kyle, I think that's it.
I do not. I don't. I really don't think so. Except for Aaron Boone, please. You're going away from your normal lineups here. I'm not going to read it off, but if you guys want a good laugh, go look at the Yankees lineup tonight against the Kansas City Royals. It is an absolute joke. So that's pretty much my 2 cents. Just get back on track, please.
Yeah, and Dodgers don't let up. You got the Rangers coming into town, the defending champs, so you should be up to par. Then you got a good Royals team coming in, so take care of business. Um, if you speaking of good laughs, if you want a good laugh, go to Buster Only's Twitter, or at least just put Buster Only in the search feed, and you're gonna find a whole bunch of stuff. For about
Yes.
maybe an hour or so, Otani was banned from gambling. Luis Robert was going to Philly, and Francisco Lindor was going to Oakland. Oh, and by the way,
Oh,
the season was canceled because of COVID.
and there was one last thing. I'm not sure if you saw it or not, but Tampa Bay, the Rays, are actually moving
Yes,
to Las Vegas, and the Athletics are staying
in
in
Oakland.
Oakland. It has been a whirlwind
It has
on
been.
Twitter in the last probably 2-3 hours. So
It
it's
has
been
been.
fun.
But it seems like it all calmed down. All right, episode 80 in the books. We'll see you again next Monday. Adios.